morning on this wonderful Sunday morning. It is 9 a.m. Central European Time on this 31st of January 2021. We're sending for you live from Dussel, Lower Saxony in Germany. So it's really a great pleasure to kick off this year's Creative Art Alliance Digital Creative World Online Trade Show. Since all physical shows have been cancelled, this is how it's done in 2021. Before we get going, I'd like to confirm that the whole studio is completely COVID compliant and all hygiene measures have been met. So now I'd really like to introduce the makers and shakers of the Creative Art Alliance. You're going to hear this a lot. Creative Art Alliance, it's going to be CAA later down the time. So I'm very happy to have here with me Jan Wölfle, the CEO of Hahnemühle Group, joining me actually physically live on stage. And the factory is only about 1 mile away from here, so this is very exciting. Also, I'm very excited that we're connecting live via video conference with Niels, Knappe, CEO of Schmincke Düsseldorf, Germany, and last but not least, Hermann Meyer, the CEO and co-owner of the Vinci Group, Nuremberg, Germany. So these three independent companies form the Creative Art Alliance, the CAA. They have a joint sales team and joint go-to-market activities to meet the needs of the most sophisticated and traditional artists around the globe. So joint forces, what a great idea and the way forward. So let's talk about the customers of CAA. Who are they? Well, targeted customers of these paper, brush, and color products are traditional artists who paint, sketch, and draw to create traditional masterpieces and modern art, such as urban sketchers or watercolorists. The Creative Art Alliance provides specialty products for specialists. The Alliance was formed to ensure that the needs of the most sophisticated artists are met. And you know what? All made in Germany. Isn't that great? All three companies are part of the Brand of Centuries register of the famous German brand who have succeeded for centuries, not decades, I mean centuries. They're very focused on sustainable, highest quality products. The CAA joint sales team offers complete solutions of the three companies in Germany, France, Austria, Switzerland, and other countries around the globe. Joint marketing forces, activities, promotions, and events like this ones are also part of the CAA benefits. So all in one, a great idea to join forces. So this is the official kickoff of the Creative Art Alliance Digital Creative Days 2021. Usually the art material trade meets on a yearly basis this time of the year actually in Frankfurt at the Creative World Fair. For obvious reasons this has been cancelled, so the Creative World Fair is planning on a digital event similar to this one in April with all the other art material companies joining in. Nevertheless, the Creative Art Alliance decided to stick to this traditional timing and have therefore organized this digital event kicking off today and continuing for the next 3 days. So you'll have events here, live shows, and also individual live events at each of the headquarters. So very exciting, do stay tuned. Which is amazing, I do want to stress this, and I think it's fantastic. COVID is not stopping these three companies from being active, innovative, and successful, though this is a very challenging time for all of us. So therefore, it's a great pleasure to hear from their CEOs personally about the companies and the joint venture, the CAA. So I have already talked about him, and let's introduce Jan Wölfle from Hahnemühle. He's here with me at the studio. Please come to me onto the stage. So I'd like to just introduce a little about his background and who you are, Mr. Wölfle. Hi, good to have you here.
Nice to be here. Thank you very much.
So you've had you have an apprenticeship in production and finishing life science products, correct?
That's right.
Okay. Then you received a BA degree from University of Furtwangen, Germany, and an MBA from Colorado State University, USA. So great time abroad as well, I see. Jan spent more than 25 years in life science and in the printing industry in Germany and abroad, in a variety of finance, product management, marketing, sales, and general management positions. So, but 2018, you started at the world-famous paper manufacturer Hahnemühle. This is like only 2 years before COVID hit. So that was quite hard to really, adjust and a lot to take, I guess.
Yes, first of all, thank you very much, Danny, for this nice introduction and for taking the challenge with your team here in the Install Studio to host us here. Also, thank you very much for partner companies, the Schmincke and Da Vinci team, which really worked very hard to prepare all of this activity for this Sunday. This is a very unusual experience for us, and I thank very much with the bottom of my heart to all the team, because everybody jumped and leapfrogged quite a bit over their activities and so on and so forth. So we are now here and would like to have this digital creative art show with everyone, all the other colleagues.
Yeah, so let me introduce the other partners of Creative Art Alliance. We also have here live via conference call Mr. Hermann Meyer from Da Vinci in Nuremberg. Can you hear us?
Yes, I hear you perfectly. Good morning.
Good morning, good to have you with us. I'm just going to give a little background information on you so people know who we're talking with. So you've studied business with a focus on marketing at University in Erlangen-Nuremberg, and in 1985 you became junior partners at Da Vinci Artist Brush Manufacturer. Since 1990 you were the CEO and shareholder of the world-famous quality manufacturer of brushes in Nuremberg. Great to have you with us because, I mean, fantastic. You're a veteran of 35 years and head of Da Vinci. Good to have you with us.
Thank you.
And last but not least, I'd like to also introduce Niels Knappe from Schmincke, Düsseldorf, Germany. So you have a degree in law and started product management of a publishing firm. After that, you were CEO for a company producing marketing systems, and then you joined Schmincke. This is 25 years ago. Before then, it had been a family-run business for 4 generations, and the family trusted for you to take it over. That's quite amazing, really. The company, Schmincke, is celebrating their 140th anniversary this year. That is outstanding. So here we are with the CAA partners, and it's very good to have you here. So should we start a little conversation with Niels from Artist Color Schmincke? How are you actually experiencing the current COVID crisis, and what is your way forward for like your new paint-related products and innovations, Niels?
Well, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Thank you. Good to have you here.
Welcome, everybody. So early on a Sunday morning. Really looking forward to the next 3 days. Yeah, Dani, the pandemic in 2020 this year, I think was a challenge for all of us. Not only for the manufacturers, but as well for many people in private life as well as in business life. You know, in March, April this year, the world has changed. All of a sudden, we were facing a lockdown, and as a business, all of a sudden, all our plans that all of us did for this year were obsolete. And we had to evaluate the situation and see what's coming next. And
okay, wir hören Sie gerade nicht mehr, Herr Knappe. Im Moment kriegen wir keinen Ton von Ihnen. Da müssen wir gerade mal improvisieren, aber so ist das, wenn man live schaltet. Wir schauen mal, ob wir den Ton wieder repariert bekommen mit Herrn Knappe von Schmincke Artist Colors in Düsseldorf. Did I just switch to German? I wasn't even sure. A little. I think I just went German, so sorry. So we have a little difficulties with the connection to Niels Knappe. So we're going to continue and switch over to Hermann to see if we meanwhile can fix the sound with Mr. Knappe. So let me just move forward a couple of cards. Thank you, Niels. I hope we can fix that and get you back online with us. Hermann Meyer from Da Vinci, welcome. Good to have you here again. Can we have your input on, well, of the brush side of the alliance? Because I'd like to know how the pandemic has, has gone for you guys so far.
Well, it was, of course, similar to what Niels said, as long as we could hear him. Also, once again, a very good morning from Nuremberg. Well, I remember these days in March when we had to make the decision to really close our company for the first time for 2 weeks, not knowing really what would happen afterwards. And then in April and May, we were only working with about 50% of our capacity. And then from June, nobody really knew what would happen. And all of us in our trade, I think, were very surprised and really enthusiastic to see how our products help people to come through this pandemic. And we really got and saw a lot of activity of our dealers on the online side, and we could really feel that we had the luck to produce products which were really helping in this situation. Mm-hmm. And so we had very many things to do. We were very busy throughout the year, and what nobody would have thought, we even finished 2020 with a positive result. So this was, for us, very, very positive.
Wow, that sounds fantastic. Well done. Yes, people have to rethink, reinvent themselves, you know, from retailers to wholesalers to artists to all over the world, really. So that sounds amazing. Good to hear, actually. And what do you actually have in store for us the next coming months?
Well, I hope interesting things. I hope interesting new ideas. And I'm sure there are interesting new painting products for watercolorists. We have new things for miniature painters, which is a market which is exactly done and used at the moment. And so I think our team has really worked out nice surprises for our dealers and for the market.
That sounds amazing. So there is a silver lining on that cloud, and it's great that it seems that you're coping really well. It's great news, actually. So thank you so much for the little input on your side, Hermann. I'm going to switch over now and ask Jan a few questions from Hahnemühle Paper Company. Before we get into the CAA, the details, you know, and everything of the Creative Art Alliance Digital Creative Days, you just had a couple of years under your belt before the crisis hit when you were at the company. So how did you manage? How did you and your team manage, in fact?
Yeah, so this is quite an interesting challenge for everybody, still is. And as I said before, I first of all would like to thank again to all of the team, the employees and our customers, and the employees as well as channel partners and suppliers and influencers across the globe. It was not very easy for everybody, and it still is not that great. We're still in the middle of the challenges. However, it was with the team, it was quite successful. We could in the first year when we started get together and look at various topics, and we could quickly deploy new ideas and new strategies, and started to execute those quite well in 2019. And so we got quite energized into this problematic pandemic. And similar to what Schmincke and Da Vinci said, we also had massive impact in April until July timeframe. We also had to go on short work, massive demand breakdown. And it was very challenging to deploy all of the hygiene guidelines to make sure we stay healthy, we have a healthy and safe production environment. But all the team and the suppliers and customers really did stick together and greatly achieved that big challenge, and still are hanging in there. So that was quite an amazing second and third year in which I am as a CEO of Hahnemühle. And I'm, as I said, very thankful for all the key stakeholders really getting with us through this crisis. Now, Hahnemühle in general, as you might know, is the oldest paper company in the world. We are still producing actually 1 mile from here away. Since inception, 437 years ago, it was founded here. And we're still producing today and manufacture and develop products out of that oldest factory in the world, which is still producing out of an environmentally protected area today. And that really has caused a strong DNA of the company, and it's a strong foundation. A lot of our team members are in the companies for decades. My assistant, she is in the company for 40 years already, and that's really has enabled us to stick together and to make sure we go through this. We also deployed really quickly in 2019, coincidentally, a stronger IT infrastructure. We deployed communication tools to everybody. We started in the pandemic also with quarterly video conferences, which we never have done before. So that helped us to maintain a strong teamwork and a focus on our core values, which we still are engaging with today. And 2020 then also, similar to Schmincke and Vinci, finished better than one could expect in spring. 2021 will also become, and still is, a big challenge, but there's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm sure we all together with everyone, we can achieve that and can get through this crisis. So that was in a nutshell how we entered into this topic, and we also have some nice products and innovations in place, which we will announce this week.
Yeah, I've had a little secret knowledge of what is going to happen. Very exciting, in fact. So you kind of mentioned it just now, what you have in store for us this year. I'm going to let you speak about that in a minute. And yeah, you're launching new products in the midst of a crisis. And I think personally that's amazing. So, you know, joint forces, positive energy, the DNA of a company, the world oldest paper producing company. How amazing is that? Isn't that great to work for them also? I mean, also in a crisis, but sometimes people reinvent themselves and even get stronger due to a crisis.
Yes. Yes, so, yeah, that's pretty amazing. It's fantastic. So when I started, I very quickly realized the very mystic and spooky, positive spooky DNA of the company. So it's 437 years. In 1584, it was founded, Hahnemühle Group, and we actually celebrate birthday in February. And that was an amazing situation to be confronted with. In a very nice environment, 2018, everything was fine. We came from 10 years of stabilization, and my predecessor had to make some tough decisions. So the energy was for change and for new innovative products was there, and we could, together with the marketing team and with sales and our customers, influencers, get quickly to an innovation process to get new innovative products in place onto the roadmap, and then obviously the pandemic hit. But sometimes it really feels that we have the secret recipes, the secret, let's say, water. It's amazing that the paper makers and the finishing people, the engineers, can so efficiently and so specifically create such great products for the specialists of the specialists. We are the specialists for the specialists, and that was pretty nice to experience.
It sounds great, and I'm really excited about working for you guys now. I'm presenting the CAA, and I do have to visit the company. It's so close, and I haven't been, so that's fantastic. Thank you so much for the input. And I hear we are going to try and get Niels from Schmincke Artist Color back into the line. Let's see if he can hear me. Niels, can you hear me? Are you back?
I can hear you.
There you are.
I hope you can. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound fantastic, much better than before, thank you. So let's try and have a little interview with you again. So how are you experiencing the current COVID situation? And what's your way forward for 2021 in relation to new paint products and innovations?
Well, Danny, you know, as as Jan and also Hermann already said, it was a challenging year for all of us. But we are all companies who have a long-term focus. All our investments, all our developments are made on a long-term basis, because developing a color or a brush doesn't take just 3 months. It takes years. And so we're just going ahead, and we're very positive. I'm personally very positive about the business, the art material business, as this is a very personal, a very time-consuming hobby or profession. And I'm sure that we will overcome all this, even though it's going to be very challenging in 2021. 2021 will really, really keep us busy, but I'm very positive that we will manage.
That sounds great. I like to hear positive energy, good vibes, and thriving through this crisis, perhaps even coming out stronger. Sometimes people have to rethink, reinvent themselves, it being companies, it being individuals, it being artists, retailers, wholesalers. But in the end, I love the fact that CAA was created and everyone's sticking together to join forces. So I imagine, I also see via social media that artists are now using the time on their hands to create, test, and try new things, and also, draw and sketch and create more art. Do you have maybe inside stories or also feedback maybe from your customer base? Is there maybe a story you could share?
I was amazed. I was amazed this year, or last year actually, in 2020. For most of our retailers, it was a tough year. And the manufacturers actually at the second half of the year went out pretty positive in their business. But the retailers became so creative, First of all, when we locked down, and Hermann said, as Hermann and also Hahnemühle, we had to lock down in March, April for 2 weeks. And when we announced the lockdown, about 3-4 days before the announcement, all of a sudden, we were so overwhelmed with orders from all over the place, mainly online, which we haven't experienced before. So all of a sudden, it was like even more than for Christmas business, and we all know what Christmas business means for our industry.
Oh yeah.
And people became so creative. The smaller retailers, some of them had also online businesses. They did quite well. And then they started to, in their local areas, they started local delivery services. They started curbside delivery and all these kind of things. So I was amazed, in this very difficult time, what they created. And so that's also one of the reasons why I'm very positive that this industry, which is so unique, and I always call it a niche in the niche market, And that is interesting. I think it's about the people in this industry. The people manage this crisis.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important message here.
Yeah. Great to hear that people are reinventing themselves. So, gentlemen, thanks for all the input on the individual companies and how you're experiencing this crisis. Now, gentlemen, colors, papers, and brushes, one could say these are like old analog materials, right? And how do your companies survive in this traditional arts material segment in a more and more digital world? So I'd like to start with Niels, actually. Do you have an answer on that, please?
Oh, of course. I mean, the digital world, we all know, is changing our lives. But in our industry, we have our consumers are very physical, it's a very emotional and a very personal hobby that they have. I'm convinced that the new digital world will change maybe distribution channels, maybe sales channels. It will change consumer habits. But at the end of the day, if you want to be creative, you can be creative on a computer, of course. But if you want to be creative, that's a physical thing to do. Painting or sculpturing or whatever cannot be substituted by any digital format. It can add. A digital format can only add to what we do. But it's so personal. And one thing, people, consumers, when they spend time, they use the most valuable thing they have, then that's their time.
Yeah.
So that's very personal, very emotional, and I think this will always have a future, this kind of profession or hobby.
Yeah, I agree. After all, we are humans, and that's the good thing, stay human. And perhaps even the crisis is making us more human. So thanks for the input on that. There are studies that say creative activities are most important for developing skills, like hand-eye coordination, I guess, for education, and to widen the horizon, also in art and design. Hermann, would you like to comment something on that? What do you think about that?
Well, I mean, what do I think about it? I mean, it's brushes, and I talk for brushes, are one of the oldest tools mankind is using. I mean, you had brushes, and you could see it already in the caves in Lascaux, that people tried to decorate where they lived, or they used it for cleaning. Brushes, as you know, had the two different kind of usages, for cleaning and for painting. And of course, in our case, it's the paintbrush, which is, well, the fantasy of the hat which goes into the tool, and it has to be a good tool, it has to be a good material, and then it will bring creativity. This is what many scientists have always said, and it also is proved. And I think it's very important that we are not losing that manuality, that you really have these hand coordination skills developed, which you need for so many other things and for really develop your brain. So I am convinced that this kind of time usage, as Niels just said, is most important for the fantasy and the creativity of mankind. So I think we will have always a product which is necessary. Yeah. And from that sense, we have seen in the past from one day to the other that you don't need certain brushes anymore. You don't need brushes anymore for writing like you did before. You do not have to have one-stroke brushes anymore or big calligraphy like in former times. But on the other side, there are always new little things where brushes are used more than before. So I'm very optimistic that also in the most digital times, the analog brushes will survive, like colors and paper.
Yeah.
So no question from that side for me.
Very good. I'm sure I've had many of your brushes also in my face since I've been modeling for, 3 decades. I'm sure I've had them also in my face by many
That's for sure.
makeup artists using them. So thank you for the input on your side. So I know and I see artists use this challenging time because I'm on social media a lot, and they display their physical work on social media. So they use the current time, which is challenging, to dig deep and reinvent themselves, which is great. So Hermann, I heard that you have over 10,000 different brushes in your assortment. Hahnemühle has more than 5,000 products, and Schmincke more than 4,000 products. I mean, what an amazing variety, right? But I mean, who needs all these products, and who are these people?
This is a very, very good question, Danny. A very good question. And I have asked this myself many, many times, whether it's really necessary to have this huge variety of sizes and shapes and strengths of stroke and whatever. But, we talk to the most difficult people. We talk to restaurators, we talk to artists, we talk to nail technicians, we talk to makeup artists, we talk to scenery makers, we talk to people who make latex textiles, we talk to the most strange crowds of people who need a brush to develop their fantasy. And this is the nice thing about, and sometimes we make for one artist, one brush a year.
Wow.
Because we always have called ourselves, as Jan also said before, to be the specialist for the specialists. and that's what we want to be, and that's what we are.
Amazing. Yeah, I can imagine. And I know that these artists and those, complex personalities, not very easy to handle. I have been around quite a few of them, let me just tell you that. So Jan, would you like to add something to what Hermann just stated?
Yes. Yeah, just to build on what Hermann said, the variety and the specific products we have in the portfolio is second to none. It's amazing. So we have 3 small paper machines, which is very unique. We are able to produce very small sets of paper grades, which is unseen in the industry, which other players really cannot do, like what we can do in this situation. We also create and introduce this year a product line called Natural Line in traditional fine art, out of very specific natural fibers like bamboo, hemp, and ajavi. And then on top of it, those are used for watercolor application and for a sketch and for mixed media applications. So those are papers you only can produce if you are so much focused on the specialist, when you have the tools, the equipment, to be able to produce so small quantities, and that's why we have such a large variety of products, to be able to exactly meet the needs of the customers we have, and also adopt to the trends we've got. Just also a little anecdotal insight in terms of this digital question, is analog paper still important? Yes, it is. I mean, I think it was clearly explained, and the creativity just in these amazing times of not able to travel, not able to meet physically, has caused that people only visit via screens. So research has shown that there's a screen fatigue in place. So people go back to the roots and become creative. Even my little daughter, 11-year-old, she made me a present to Christmas. She drew a watercolor picture on our paper because she saw on Instagram, TikTok, that an influencer did something like this. Yesterday, she brought me another screenshot in terms of, look, there's a Hahnemühle paper this influencer is also using. So it's pretty amazing to see that also new customers are coming along. And the new generation, young guys and folks, are really adopting and going into such a new application and creative things to make sure that the eye and hand coordination is put to the maximum extreme. Then on top of it, I'd like to also mention that we introduce a set of notebooks, premium notebooks, which we call the Fine Notes section. We are optimizing our portfolio of stationery products, which we had for many decades, little notebooks with little pencils and so on, and now have taken, based on the marketing requirements as well as customer requests, we have put this product line to the high end. We have created high-end iconic and manuscript notebooks, which Martin will talk about it. Rana will talk about the natural line of traditional products. And then on top of the Fine Notes notebooks, we are also introducing premium writing instruments, like a fountain pen with a gold nib, like a roller ball and a ball pen. All of them are out of pure metal, no plastics, totally sustainable. And we have made sure that the paper experience is elevated to the full end-to-end writing experience in the Fine Notes section of our portfolio. So that's what we also are bringing and introducing this week in the next couple of days, and I'm looking really forward to hear the reaction of you folks out there, and please drop us a note, and we'll see what you will say, and if you like it, and how we can really bring that even forward. So that's pretty interesting times these days, and yeah, so just to add on what Hermann and Lars said.
Back to the roots it is, but that combining that with the digital media to show what you've created, and also, people dig deep at these times we're in crisis, and they get out, emotional, passionate things, and then they have a special paper and a special pen to write with. So I'm very excited about the launch later on today. This is very, very cool. Hermann, I do have another question for you. What do you expect from the Creative Art Alliance Digital Creative Days in the next 3 days?
Well, Danny, for us, it's always the first time here. We never did something like that before, and it will be really exciting and thrilling to see how our customers, how the public reacts to such a digital adventure we are doing here. I just know that my team has worked with a lot of enthusiasm on this whole experience, and I can only be grateful about all these activities. And now let's wait and see, and let's look how the market reacts. So here we are. We try to do our best, and well, I think it will be a very good experience for all of us.
Yeah, I hear lots of positive energy, motivation, and good vibes, and that's really good because, you know, Germans tend to be grumpy, but everyone's really positive and happy here. This is great, and that's the way forward. So thanks, Hermann. So let's hear a little more from Niels about Schmincke's expectation for the next 3 days, because we're here only the Creative Art Alliance partner companies that take part in this Creative World Fair. Well, actually, they take part in the Creative Art Alliance the next 3 days, happening at the same time that usually the Creative World Fair was scheduled. So I think it's great that you made a point to say, no, we're staying here at this moment in time, even though it's difficult, we're going to do this digitally. So I love it, by the way. The rest of the companies are waiting for an official April digital event to happen to join in. So what do you think? What do you expect for the next 3 days, actually?
Well, first of all, I'm excited like Hermann, and my whole team here is excited. First time to create this. But you know what I appreciate most is that this is a common effort of the 3 companies. You know, we sat together not long ago, and in a quite very short time, our teams created these 3 days, which I think I would like to be. I'm very thankful. I'm grateful for what they did, and I also think that that this kind of communication that we got used to over the last 12 months, more and more. You know, we were all in video meetings and whatever, Zoom meetings and Teams meetings. I think this will be part of our future communication. It's changing communication quite a bit. And I'm sure that even physical meetings that we are all looking forward to again, you know, we're all desperately waiting for physical meetings again. I think this is something that it will be part of our future communication, and I'm looking forward to the next physical exhibition, where I'm sure that the virtual will be part of it. So we will see hybrid solutions in the future. I'm quite sure about this. So I'm excited. I'm positive, and I hope we will have a lot of people joining us, and it's a great chance. It's a great opportunity for us to present our new products and also actually to meet people. You know, even it's virtual, but to meet people again. And what a better way to start off the year? I mean, it's going to be a great event. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you for that positive energy. And you know, we always say physical. Energy is physical. So you guys are here. I can feel you guys. So thanks for the positive input. So now, Jan, how about Hahnemühle FineArt? What is your expectations for the next 3 days?
Yeah, Niels and Hermann said it well and said it all, I can say. The expectation is, however, to really test and experience the feedback of our customers, influencers, and channel partners to really see if this format is working for them and to see how they are doing. Because let's not forget that for many people, many companies, this pandemic has caused big hardships and has caused a lot of deaths across the world. So I'm mostly still looking forward to see that our teams and our partners and customers around the world are healthy, and that's the key focus. Also, this pandemic has brought a couple of positive aspects. So sustainability is key. The travel we have not done so much, so that has also caused some positive effects to get used to those digital formats and to see how they work and how we can in a more secure environment work together. But like Niels and Hermann said, so I'm also, of course, missing the physical interactions. And we need to see how we can get back to normal in the second half of this year. But I'm sure we're going to find a way with those other innovative companies we have in the CAA Creative Art Alliance, like Schmincke, Vinci, and us, Hahnemühle. I'm very convinced that we, together with our customers, of course, can get out of this and can get some good experience in place, and hopefully can meet the needs of the customers and see how we can emerge out of this a lot stronger.
Yeah, that sounds really good and really positive. Thank you so much, everybody, for the input. For me, it was very, very interesting. Thank you, Niels. Thank you, Hermann. Thank you, Jan, for the insights. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
And I'm glad you all sound so positive. So I'm sure your partners also, such as retailers, wholesalers, online stores, influencers, and customers will enjoy today and the days ahead. And hopefully have started this challenge in year full of positive energy and excitement, and will continue to stay positive, active, and also keep adjusting to thrive despite this worldwide crisis. I want to thank all the viewers around the globe. I hope this excitement is being transported over to you. And yeah, I'm excited that I can present the events here today. We're going to have lots of more interesting stuff coming, also launching new products. This is very exciting. We have artists also at the studio. We have management, product managers, and marketing experts. So do stay tuned, stay creative, stay happy and healthy. I want to say for now, bye-bye, and thanks for watching. And do stay tuned. There's lots more lined up. And yeah, see you in a minute. Thanks.